Aya is the only road. Wanna kune level. Denge ni jingo abaya baya. Neni mano ona fire. Anipere power.
When I heard his song, Handiperi Power, initially I thought it was your normal Zimbabwean upcoming local groove. Then I took a pause and listened to the lyrics. That's when my intrigue set in. Who was this young man who mixed dancehall with an inspirational message for youth and adults alike? His name was Carrington Simbarashe Chiwadzwa, known as Nutty O. Welcome, Nutty O, to the EN show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How's you?
I'm good. I'm so happy that you're on the show.
It's a pleasure.
You seem to be the hottest thing in Zimbabwe right now. The hottest artist in Zimbabwe. How does it feel to hear that?
I don't know. Hot doesn't stay. I feel like I'm...
You're sizzling?
Maybe. Yeah, sizzling.
Sizzling.
Let's say ever sizzling.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, great. So let's start with who you are. But so when I first initially met you, I had the honor to also meet your mom as well. And with meeting your mother, I realized that no, this young man doesn't just come from any family. I think there's a lot that has been seeded into you by your mom. Tell me about where you come from.
Yeah, born and bred in Mbare. Edith Oberman, maternity. Yeah, I'm a family of 4. I'm the firstborn, and they are the 2 girls and my other brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I grew up in Mbare. I've been a nomad, though. Growing up, I used to be between places because my parents were separated, so enough of the times I'm at the other side, but enough of the times I was with my mom, Mbare National. That's my hub.
That's your hub.
Yeah.
Those are your roots.
Those are my roots.
And so being a firstborn.
Yeah.
How is that?
I feel like those things are overrated. If you're firstborn, it means you're firstborn. You see the world before others. If you're last, it means you see the world, later than others. But you're being the firstborn, obviously you have to be like a torchbearer. You set the stands. You have to, if not set the pace, you create a path that others must emulate. And these are your siblings, or even people watching from the outside. You still have to be like a torchbearer for your people, for your bunch.
It's interesting that you take that stance because it's one of the questions that I have been keen to ask you in terms of your investment in ghetto youth. Let's go back a bit. The name Nutty O, I know, comes from being naughty and being a naughty operator. But when you say you're naughty, like, what was the worst thing that you could have done that made you get that label of being naughty? Because kuna mskanzo yakasiyana-siyana, kuna mskanzo yekuti uyayimbate mwana wekuzoti mskanzo yekuti, oh my gosh, okay, we now need to call the police here. What level of mskanzo was that? If you were to introduce me to that Nutty, who would that Nutty be?
I did almost everything that could raise the alarm. Dynamic in that zone. Dynamic within my naughtiness.
Dynamic in your naughtiness.
But yeah, it's basically, those are juvenile delinquencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just a fast kid. And sometimes, I come from a place where fast kids are regarded as naughty. Fast mentally, fast in everything. discern quickly, understand path and routes differently, crack codes, do things that others don't really do. Like we all fall in certain anomalies. Then I was in that. Always a misfit, always doing my own, always doing what these other. And, just a bit ahead of my, category. That's me.
It's interesting that you say that because I think a lot of very intelligent children are classified as naughty because people don't understand the level of intelligence that's there. But don't you think your mom kind of identified that, you know what, my child may be a bit different, but let me nurture, let me affirm the strengths that he has so that you build on them? Because you came out pretty confident outside of that.
So enough of the times I had my granny, but that's the motherly basis, same way, it's the same teaching. So you would always equate and give credit to the mom. But I always had my granny around because my mom would not always be around.
Yeah.
But the few times I would still see her and be around her, it's an educational class. It's just her giving you the essence, the basics and certain values that you should move with along. But I had my granny all the time. And the same teachings that she gave to my mom were the very same teachings that were just being imparted onto me. And these are the things I move with, But then there was a stage where, like, I developed the maturity to like communicate, have proper conversations with someone of that level, someone who is your mom. I noted boys, guys don't usually have, these with their mothers, would rather be comfortable with the fathers now when you're growing up. But then me and my mom are like the opposite. My mom is like my dad. I literally speak, converse, and everything. I don't leave nothing, everything.
Unedited.
Unedited.
Is this where the song for my mama, is this where it comes from? Because one of the verses in that actually is, my mama is my daddy at the same time. And that says a lot. Because if you see and equate your mom to having a dual role in your life, she must be a very big part of your life.
Yeah, we all see these things. It's we all relate. Mothers do a lot sometimes. Even when the daddies are around, mothers still kind of dualized in all of these things. Protective, stretching beyond in all of that. So yeah, she's very important. She's very important, and sometimes me talking about her more kind of insinuates that I devalue the fathers there. Yeah, big up to the fathers.
Big up to the fathers, but we're loving the mothers. Okay. What church did you go to? What church influenced you when you were young? Did you go to church? But I'm assuming you did.
Yeah, so funny story, I've been to almost every denomination.
Wow. Okay.
Almost every denomination. Grow up experiencing different, how people understand church from where I come from. How basically people understand church is where you go. Is it Sayoja? Is AFM? Is it what? But church in essence is just that gathering in a certain place.
Yes.
But then I experienced all different churches.
So you are
almost
being apolitical with the churches. You there's no one church that resonates with you, because I was reading about your grandfather being a
Methodist Mbare.
Yeah.
So even
was that United Methodist or Methodist Church of Zimbabwe? Or
that's United Methodist.
United Methodist.
But then even if I had been conditioned to be in a certain denomination, I wouldn't still come out and say I stand with this, because either way the purpose is to stay in a balance. And for me, I'm privileged. I have been to a lot of these denominations, and I don't take anything, I don't say anything. I'm just balanced. Denomination is denomination. God
And
is
God
God.
is God.
At the end of the day, so respect to everybody.
That's very powerful, and I think you're right. I'm learning. Listen, I've been sitting in this chair for a while, but this one I think is very fundamental to me. We have a habit of trying to categorize ourselves. I'm Anglican, I'm Catholic, I'm Chichichi, but at the end of the day, I think you are Christian, and that should suffice.
Share some. We like share the common goal, because what it does if you try stick to categories, the end is division. The end is inequality. The end is a whole lot of these things that are not pleasant.
And we're going to pick up from there, Nutty, in our next segment. But I'm loving the fact that, it seems like it has been a key foundation for you in your music. If you're watching the EN show, I'm with Nutty O, and we are talking everything. We're talking family, we're talking religion, we're talking career. Please do not change that dial. We'll see you soon.
I dance for a living, not an orthodox career. My name is Mbare. I'm an award-winning dance choreographer. Well, I've built a brand from dancing and I earn money too. The internet has made my life easy and so much fun. Well, for starters, I get to interact with existing and potential clients who attend my dance classes. I have the opportunity to showcase my work to a large group of people at the same time. Who wouldn't want that for their business? Dancing is my life, and I need something that helps me grow and network with people in my field of work. I have won numerous awards from the work that I do, and I'm proud of myself. If it wasn't for the internet, I highly doubt anyone would know me. The broadband has helped me learn, grow, and enjoy what I do. I'm living in the moment. Are you?
Pond 5.
Welcome back to the EN show. And today I am in studio with Nutty O. So Nutty O, for me, we were talking about God and how we just don't want, I think our basic instinct is to categorize our religion. And I liked the fact that we talk Christianity and not specific churches. But did you ever feel that a pressure to not sing about God? When you started singing about God, did you get people who were saying, you're sounding preachy. Wakushumaira, it's not the in thing to do. Why don't you talk about some other topics that sell? Did you get that pressure, or was it a basic for you to say, I'm going to merge dancehall music with my message of Christianity when I feel like it? Because that's not all you sing about, but when you do want to do it, you felt very confident in doing it. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, because it's not calculated. It's not calculated. I don't calculate what I sing. I don't study the economics of what I sing. I just do what is in me. I usher out what resides within me, and that's the art. And I'm very unapologetic with my art. I don't have to do whatever
everyone else is doing.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
Instead, I have to give you what you never think you need, what you never thought you needed. I always give out what people never really thought they needed. So I'm not limited, and I don't calculate doing things. So when I sing about God, that's me. It's inherent. It's part of me. I don't usually plan to do it. And I'm not scared about norms and trends. I don't follow those. I sing about everything. And I believe even a lot of people sing about God, just indirectly. But then me, it's my preferred style, and I don't put too much thought in. It's not like economics. I don't study supply and demand. I just usher out what's in there, and those who relate can relate.
I've spoken to you before, and you've talked about your authentic self. And is this a part of that authenticness of who you are, shaped by the experiences that you have had in life. And for me, when I listen to Mbare Power, I told you before when we met, initially I didn't really understand the lyrics behind the song. So I heard the tune, I was caught up with the tune, I loved it. But then when I listened to the lyrics, I actually went home and I was like, guys, there's this song, right? I look stupid because everyone else knew it except me. And there's this song, but he's talking about God. Like, it was such a surprise for me that, the lyrics themselves were extremely powerful. And I think you've made talking about God very cool. Would you say so?
Yeah, that's the artistic aspect of things. Try and speak in a way that makes things feel easy. The purpose is to light up heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And also, the contents that one brings through actually reflects on the character of the creative. Me being this person, you can actually know about my being, my individuality based on the lyrics that I write and the songs that I sing. All of that kind of reflects back to the artists, who they are and what do they believe in. Because at the end of the day, we don't just merely sing. We are influenced somehow by certain things, be it experience or personal life or, things in reality. And we express those things, we vocalize those things. So whatever it is that you sing about, I take it very seriously. It means you have gone through those things. There is no random magic. It's all of those things are based on your imagination, and what you imagine is within your thought spectrum, and you eventually experience it sooner or later, or you have experienced it.
And it brings me to your song Peter Pan. So out of all the songs that I've listened to, for me, this one really, I love this one better than Mbare Power. Okay, I know that one is the popular one. Everyone sings that one, but Peter Pan for me does it. And why? Because number one, just using the imagery between, our childhood books around Peter Pan and Captain Hook and the whole narrative of, what Peter Pan was all about and flying, taking that into being a ghetto youth. Tell me about ghetto youth today, because you talk about the fact that, if you take away from me, you don't understand how many other things I'm shouldering on, how many people are dependent on me. Tell me about the narrative around ghetto youth. What is it that ghetto youth are faced with today? Because I think we talk about it, but I don't think people really delve into the real issues behind ghetto youth.
Yeah, the ghetto youths, the majority of people who are, affected by societal ills and a lot.
Yeah.
Me growing up from Mbare, I'm also a certified ghetto youth. I know the things that I've gone through, things that I was being exposed to, the pressures that I succumbed to, and things that I conquered, to be here. Because, it's one of those situations where it's a 1 in a million type of situation in the streets. Yeah. Enough of these youths are going through a lot. It's just big pressure down there. And if you're not mentally strong, if you're not tenacious, if you're not bold, and if you're not determined to break out of a certain cycle, you might just get entangled in it. Drugs, all of these things, And I grew up from those ends, and I know exactly what we go through, striving to just have an opportunity to showcase what you have. A lot of us are talented. A lot of us are gifted in many ways. A lot of us have stories to tell, but sometimes it's even hard just to get the opportunity to express yourself. The platforms, it's a route. It's a rocky road. It's a tough scene being, coming from the ghetto, because a lot of these things are not easy to accomplish. it's not easy to realize your full potential, because we all talented. We all in this one big space where opportunities don't present themselves, but you have to go out and hunt and imagine it's everybody doing this. And there are things, there are other dynamics around, other things that we're exposed to, that it's so easy you would end up abusing certain substances. You would end up, doing certain things that are not right. So I'm saying, and usually when one of us is elevated, it's always that situation where you have to come back to the ground, to the basis, to where it started, and try uplift your circle, empower your people.
Yeah.
And it starts with you just empowering your surroundings, your family. If family is empowered, they can also empower other families around. And the cycle goes on and on. So that was the mentality behind the song. And you would find over time, all these songs have different textures and colors and moods and everything, depending on different situations. Because now it's the psychology behind. I know there's this, I know there's that. So cater for them. But it's natural. It's nothing that I sit down and fully study. I know these things. I experience these things. I know that if you sing from the heart, everybody who has a heart can relate.
And I've seen you do that, actually. I saw you on stage, and it was really strange to see the response of your crowd. And I'm not sure if you ever, because you're the one who's performing, I'm not sure if you ever get that third eye that allows you to see how people respond back to you. Because I saw a lot of the young people identify with not only the lyrics, but I saw them identify with you as an individual. So your word in terms of empowerment, in terms of, getting young people to think beyond their circumstances, I saw that in many of the people who you were singing to. Do you sometimes feel a lot of pressure to represent youth in the right way? Or it goes back to your being authentic and you can only do what you can do? But do you feel that pressure, like, this is the next generation, Nutty O is representing the next generation, so tell us, speak on behalf of the next generation? Have you felt that kind of pressure before?
Yeah, obviously. We are mandated to be at our best every time. I'm supposed to be at my best every time. And if I'm at my best, I represent in each of my people. Not everybody. And I cannot be held responsible for that. Yeah, I represent. A lot of people who look up to me. A lot of youths look up to me. And it is my duty to be, to behave. Always be at my best, because I represent those people. Yeah. They look up to me, and I must be a perfect epitome of what a ghetto youth must amount to,
Nati, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, there's some songs that I absolutely, absolutely love. Okay, I love Peter Pan, but I also love a couple of your other ones as well. Ndiwe, I love Safe. And that's all about love. So I need to hear what's going on with Nutty O. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching The Ian Show. We are with Nutty O, and don't go anywhere.
I need a hero. I need a hero today.
That's right.
Talco, always connected. There for you more than any other. Saves the day, keeps me connected. It's my hero. Talco.
Business to your hoe. I got it all selected. Faster than a bullet. Keeping you connected. Don't worry about a buffer. Life's speeding like no other. All the time, anytime, anywhere. It's velocity.
Welcome back to the EN show. And today I'm with Nutty O. So, Nutty, we're talking about love. We're talking about romance. Some of your songs, the 3 songs that I picked up on most, Safe, Are You Safe? You know, Where You Are, You Safe? Oh, I loved that song. And then Diwe was also, awesome. And then Be My Girl. So you speak about love, you speak about heartbreak. Is this you speaking from experience? Is this you speaking, from a creative approach? Tell me, has your heart ever been broken, Nutty O? Has it?
Obviously. Everybody has gone through heartbreak.
Yeah.
I also believe people function with love, at the same time. So all these are within my personal experience.
Yeah.
And I've experienced all of those things. So that's basically an expression, the expressing how I understand these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to ask any more in that category. I'll leave that. But dancehall. So you have a great vibe around dancehall. Now, I grew up in an environment where I loved dancehall. I know it doesn't maybe resonate with me now, but we used to listen to Beanie Man, Buju Banton, and then we had Maxi Priest, etc. Are those people who were inspirational to you when you were listening to that genre of music, or no?
Yeah, I have a strong dancehall base. That's like where my inspirational basis comes from. But obviously, as we move in with time, and me being African, dancehall also being something of Jamaican origin, now it's a fusion with me. It's a fusion of dancehall and Afro sounds, which makes it Afro dancehall, which has always been the sound that I do. So you wouldn't necessarily call me a dancehall artist. You would if you want to, and I cannot dispute, but the sound is Afro dancehall. It's within the merge of these 2 sounds. The Afro standing for me being African, and also merging the dancehall. Afro dancehall.
And if I look at the artists that are kind of playing a role in that genre, you're very few, because the mixture of the 2 is very intriguing. So when you hear some of the undertones of your lyrics and how you present the music, you definitely do get a sense of Afrocentricity.
Yes, Afrocentricity.
Afrocentricity, but you also get a sense of the Jamaica bit as well. So I understand that, when you released and you were working on Mustard Seed, there was maybe a bit of pressure to say, release it. What stopped you from releasing it at the time? What were you brewing? What was that process for you?
Because I never deal with pressure. I never respond to pressure with pressure. Timing based on your intuition is important. And this intuition is God-given. It's not for everyone. So, and also having the ability to block outside noise and and also deal with your internal.
Right.
Until you feel like it's the right time to unravel, unleash. So yeah, I was just calm, steady. I really understood what was supposed to happen.
Do you sometimes feel a bit anxious around, when you're working on new music? Am I going to present this in a way that people will resonate with? Because I know that you have an intention to communicate something specific, but do you ever have that anxiety that kind of says, is this the right thing? Is this the right kind of music will it be received in the right way?
Well, I believe you're trying to say about the communication aspect of the communication aspect within the music. Yes, communication skills, you have to furnish those as you go. Your communication skills will become better as you go. So you must learn how to communicate and send the message so that it's understood rightfully, from that end to that end. So obviously, I'm more worried about if I am being clear.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the content. I'm worried about my clarity. I'm worried about if they would really decode the message correctly. Mm-hmm. So now it comes down to the choice of words, diction, and all of those things, but not the content. Mm-hmm. If I want to sing about love, the content remains love. If I want to go extreme, I'll go extreme. But I'll have to decide now on the choice of words. Because the choice of words are the ones that will reach to the receiving end. The receiving end must be able to encode.
It's amazing how music is really about poetry. Mm-hmm. It's about expression. You're very correct. Because it's the way that you put the words, the sequencing, and how people resonate with it. Mm-hmm. But I think it goes deeper because we also feel something. Mm-hmm. So when people listen to your music, what is it that you want us to feel? Not necessarily to hear.
Obviously,
the
emotions, because everything is targeted at the emotions. We human beings are creatures of emotion. So that is obvious. Mm. When you're dealing with human beings, you're dealing with creatures of emotion. Yeah, so always aim at the heart. Always aim at the right frequency. Yeah, so I play with emotions. You attach emotion to these words.
And how has been the journey for you to become vulnerable? Because for you to impact me on an emotional level, you must also give of yourself. Mm-hmm. So that self-discovery of Nutty O, was that a process for you?
Yeah, it's always
that you kind of said, oh my gosh, this is who I am?
It's always a process.
Yeah.
And it's a never-ending process. It goes on, and you furnish yourself. You purify yourself within the process every time. So the next Nutty O is going to be different. You always experience these different outer expressions. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would want to label you a very passionate person. I know that one of the performances that you did, you actually paused in the middle of the performance. I can't remember where it was. And then you started speaking to your audience. Is that something that you do all the time?
That's my style. That's
your style?
Yeah, you need to entertain and educate at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
clearly send the message and make sure it's clearly understood. It's fully received and fully understood.
Has your message or narrative changed? Or does it change according to where you are? Or has it been a consistent narrative?
It's consistent.
Okay.
That how it's ushered might differ from what angle are you? What angle are you from? It's like shooting. You're in a shooting range. You always have to adjust. It differs from what angle are you shooting from.
Right.
What are the conditions? What are the weather conditions? Is it windy? Is it so? Yeah, you get to analyze all of these things and find, and prepare, station yourself in a better position to fully convey the message so that it's fully understood at the same time. So it's situational. It's a situational approach. You calculate, analyze the situation, and fit into the situation.
And adapt to it.
Adapt
very
to
fast.
it. Mm.
You started music, you started singing in 2014-ish, around there. First of all, is that correct? 2014?
I've been singing from birth. Yeah, I believe people are born singing.
So maybe let's just say 2014 is probably when you first published or released your first song, around there?
2014 is when I got into the studio professionally.
Professionally?
Yeah.
Okay. 2014, fast forward to 2022. The journey between must have been really interesting for you because now, after 8 years, you are doing Dubai, you're doing South Africa, you're doing all these tours around the world, and you're living the life that you probably envisioned in 2014. Was there ever a moment where you kind of wanted to say, you know what, this is tiring. I'm not getting to where I want to be fast enough. I'm giving up. Was that ever in your mind?
Yeah, I've always had this, but I've never thought of giving up, despite having despite feeling like there is a delay going on. Even up to now, I still feel like there's a delay going on. I really need to be somewhere right now. And I feel like that destiny is kind of delayed. If I could do something about it, I would first approach that pinnacle quickly. Mm-hmm. I want to be somewhere right now. And I feel like, you gotta be patient, because a lot of these things are time-centered.
And God's time.
Yeah. Time is the master. But I've always felt like I needed to be somewhere, that I never contemplated giving up. Instead, I would contemplate having to grow my faith more, so my faith becomes bigger than everything else around me. But yeah, if you ask me, everything about me is a delay. I want to be somewhere right now.
That's really interesting. And we're going to pick up from there in our next segment. Because for me, I found myself thinking of your career and actually asking myself, where have my moments been where I've been very impatient about reaching a certain goal in my life? But and then I said to myself, but if Nutty O can wait for 8 years for him to do this, why can't EN do the same? So we're going to pick up from there. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the EN Show, and I'm with Nutty O, and we're talking about inspirational things.